What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Cowboys Corner. This is Talking Crazy. I got my spider behind me. Thank you guys for tuning in here. I got to get something else set up real quick on this thing. Got to get me some sources in here. How's everybody's weekend, dude? Cowboys, Broncos. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be real interesting. I don't know, guys. I got a funny feeling about this game, dude. And a funny feeling in a bad way. All right, in a bad way. Give me 1 second. This thing's about to have two people in here. Do this. There it is. Remove. Okay. But how's everybody been, man? How's everybody doing? Let me delete that. Let me delete this. All right. Let's add some stuff. Add files. I want this one. I want this one. And I want this one. Done. Okay. Here we go. Here. Mike says fifth quarter going live on the same day. Yes, sir. Brando, the game of champion, right there. Corner, not quarter. There you go, right there. NASCAR. NASCAR moving Daytona 500 February 21st because the Super Bowl will be held on President's Day, especially on Sunday. February 14th, 2027. Nate Dogg, let's go. You guys click like for me if you haven't already. Let's get into this show, guys. All right, let's do this thing. Oh, no, don't do that. Oh, no, I almost messed this up. Let's do that right there. There we go. Okay. There we go right here. Richard, salute to all the no limit soldiers. Yes, sir. Yo, Corner, if this is Talking Crazy, send me the link on Twitter. Okay. All right. Yeah, most definitely will. I gotta send Space Cowboy the link too. Here we go. Give me a second. Hope everybody's doing great. Good. Grand. We're about to start this show. I gotta do two more things here. Paste. This is first Talking Crazy on a Saturday in a while. I went live 2 Fridays in a row, and then I skipped last week. Hung out with family. Right here. Trayvon Diggs was placed on injury reserve, ruling him out for the rest, for at least 4 games. Okay. So, if you guys been watching the Frisco Report, shout out to Joe. If you guys been watching the Frisco Report, I've been having Diggs in the radar. All right, about being a cancer in the locker room, not really listening to his coaches. And now the concussion thing happened. Now he's on IR. I mean, it happened pretty quick. All right, I didn't realize it was going to happen this fast. I knew it would happen, but I didn't think it was going to be this fast. But it happened, guys. And for me, Trayvon Diggs, dude, he just hasn't been the same player. Injuries, 3 years in a row, some type of injury. Now, guys, let me break some news to you. He's not on IR because of concussion. Trayvon Diggs is an IR because his knee got tweaked. And this is coincides with the concussion. All right. So don't be fooled. He didn't get on IR because of concussion. He got on IR because of his knee. All right. And but Trayvon Diggs, dude, cancer in the locker room. And it's a shame, before Trayvon Diggs got hurt, Trayvon Diggs, 11 interceptions, tied the record. Just a big baller. But then when the thing with Micah, when that all happened, dude, it went downhill. It went down the drain. When Micah left, Diggs left. Someone said that on Twitter. When Micah left, Diggs left. I think it was Simus. Maybe it was Simus that said that. But it's true. And then you add on the $500,000 fine. You add the fine onto that? Yeah, that's not good stuff. Trayvon Diggs is now a problem in the locker room. And I think Deron Bland, the performance he put on against the Commanders, being physical, tackling, doing the necessary things, I think it was a showing to Jerry and Steve and Will McClay and the coaching staff of, this is my team now. This is my team. Because we haven't seen Deron Bland play like this when Trayvon Diggs was on the field. We haven't seen, Deron Bland play like this in quite some time. And I really feel like Bland is trying to win the team back. I do feel that way. Guys, let me know in the comment section what y'all think about Trayvon Diggs. I'm not a big believer in Diggs anymore. I think he's became a locker room cancer, a locker room distraction, a problem in the coaching meetings, a problem in the player meetings. And it's so strange to me because he said that he wants to earn that $500,000 back in incentives. So when you look at, okay, how are you going to earn that back in incentives when you're getting burnt? When you can't, when you're playing 10 yards off the man because you scared that you're going to get beat, and yet you still get beat when you're playing 10 yards off the man. Look, it's insane what's happened. How the fall off of Trayvon Diggs needs to be studied, all right? Needs to be studied. Let's dip into this real quick right here. This is from your guy, Nick. Shout out to Nick. He runs the best spaces. He runs the best spaces on Twitter. And you can catch me sometimes on there. So big shout out to your guy, Nick. He said, the Dallas Cowboys offense has something to prove in Denver. While they've been fantastic at home, they have to find a way to take it onto the road this Sunday. Look at these numbers. At home, 41.3 games, points per game. Big shout out to Cowboys blog on Corner of Crazy and Cowboys. Points per game on the offense at home, 41.3. Yards, there he is right there. Yards, 441. Now, on the road, all right? We've talked about this on the Frisco Report, too, that the Cowboys offense on the road hasn't been any good. Almost half in points, all right? 24.5 points per game on the road and 353 yards average per game on the road. Big shout out to Cowboys blog. Cowboys blog, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey, not a whole lot. Look, when you see those numbers, Cowboys blog, why is that? Why can't we be balanced? Is it the teams that we're playing against that were just better than us? Is it Dak not being a road warrior? Is it a combination of both? Break that down for me, Block.
It is the inconsistency that this team had from the very jump on the coaching search, and it has just gone through the rest of the team, specifically the defense. The defense has been horrible. All right? Offense is holding this team up right now, barely. It's been the lifeline of the team right now. So that's what I think it is, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Big shout out to Leo in the chat. For me, dude, it's just been when you look at it, right? We went to Philadelphia week 1, and we couldn't get over that 20, that magic number, right? That 20 just haunts Dak Prescott. If he can't get over 20, it's over. It really is. Like the moment that he gets 21, 23, 24, somewhere in there, okay, maybe now we'll hit. Now, but we're about to have some power in here. Space Cowboy 17 on the Corner of Crazy and Cowboys, the Cowboy Show. Space, what's up?
What is up, gentlemen? How we doing?
Hey, what's up, bro?
We're talking about the offense inconsistencies. Your guy Nick's, big shout out to Nick's, big fan of his spaces. He tweeted this space. He said 41.3 at home and 441 yards for the offense at home, and then away games, the road games, 24.5 points and only 353 yards. Big difference here, Space. So what do you think attributes to that? And big shout out to your guy, Nick. Thanks for that tweet. And I definitely shared it. Shout you out. If you go on Twitter, follow your guy, Nick's great guy. Go ahead, Space. What do you think that is?
I just think that it's this thing we've seen with the Cowboys over the past decade where they kind of go into this shell when they go on the road. We saw this under the Mike McCarthy experience where it would feel like they have this great game plan going into this game. And then it would just feel like something happens. And we actually saw this in the Bears game where it looked like, okay, they're finally getting into a rhythm. But then you started noticing they were doing a lot of bootlegs, a lot of safe, conservative plays. Now, the one thing I will say is that you shouldn't need to score 30 points a game every single game to win, right? But, well, we've played, 3 road games. So we've lost, let's see. So we lost the opener to Philly. We scored 20 points. You then scored, 14 points to Chicago. And then you had I guess you could say the outlier game against the Jets, but the Jets have been the worst team in football, so I don't know what that says about that. Now, the Bears have been looking solid. Of course, the Eagles are the Eagles, but I think this is another thing is we're going to Denver. We know how the Cowboys have not won in Denver since the 1990s.
92.
92.
Mm-hmm.
And Dak has said it himself, like he struggled in his sophomore season there. So I would say that this is where we need to see Brian Schottenheimer grow up as a head coach. Is we need to see you do the same things you're doing at home on the road. That's what we need to see.
100%. And you brought up the game, Space. You took the words right out of my mouth. Big shout out to Sports Junkie. If Sports Junkie comes in here, dude, we're gonna have heavy hitters on this show. God, dog. But you took the words right out of my mouth. It was the inconsistencies. We couldn't get over 20 against the Eagles. We took a big dump against the Chicago Bears. We went in there with the Jets. If it wasn't for that Jets game, these numbers would be worse at home. On the road. So now when I look at by the way, so there's no surprises. I got us losing tomorrow. 35-20 Denver Broncos.
And I forgot the Carolina game too, where you scored 27.
Oh, yeah.
But again, but I feel like the offense was doing fine that game minus the run game. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I know I was like, I'm forgetting a game we played on the road.
Yeah. But see, and another reason why I got us losing, guys, is because I got us on a 3. We got a 3-3-1 record. And shout out to Cowboys Block because he predicted this. We're gonna win one, lose one, win one, lose one, and there was a tie that fit in there, but it's still the same 500-esque type stuff. So Cowboys Block, what you've seen with the 3-3-1 record and the schedule that's coming up here with the Broncos and the Cardinals. I don't want to look too far ahead before the bye week. Do you see a change in that, or can you see us being 3-5-1 by the bye week?
I could see either, man. It's just every season this team does a complete reset. You don't know what you're getting. Last year we couldn't win. What? We couldn't win. We couldn't win at home, right? But we could win on the road. This year, it's like, I don't know. It always seems like there's some kind of reset, dude. Like, it's just like, you don't know what you're going to get, man. Are you going to get consistency? But the most consistent thing is the inconsistency. So, yeah, man, I could see that, I would like to see this team stack some wins to pull me back in and buy back in. Right now, like I've been saying, I'm at arm's length, bro. Like, yeah, that game last week was badass. We put it on the team. We put it on Dan Quinn and these guys. But is it fool's gold? You always have to ask yourself with this team, is it fool's gold or are we the real deal? And then you come out here, you face Denver, you get your butt whipped, and then you come back down to reality like, yeah, we're the same bull crap. Win.
Yeah. No, for sure. We got Mike on the corner of Crazy and Cowboy. Let me get to your super chat real quick, Mike. He said Trayvon hasn't been the same player since he tore his ACL in 2023. I feel like he's following the footsteps of his brother. His heart just isn't there anymore. I completely agree, Mike. I appreciate that super chat.
Of course.
But yeah, no, Trayvon Diggs just not the same guy. But Sports Junkie said that we're going to win the next 3, and when we play Philly again, it's going to be for the division. But go ahead, Space. What that 3-3-1 record? You know, a 500 team. When Cowboys blog said win one, lose one, what were your thoughts? You know, maybe when you watched that video. If not, what are your thoughts now?
Yeah, Mike, I'm not sure if you remember, but remember I left a comment on it was a couple weeks ago when we were going into October, and you asked, hey, we were going to play the Jets, we were going to play the Panthers, we were going to play, of course, this game versus Washington and the Broncos. Where did you think the team was going to be? Now, I had them going 2-2 in the stretch. Right now, they're 2-1. The one game I got wrong was the Jets game, because I know that historically the Cowboys have struggled on the road versus the Jets, but either way, like, they swapped the games, so they're kind of where I thought where they were at. I don't have them beating Denver tomorrow, and it's not that I don't like, I want to see this team lose so I could be right. I'm never like that whatsoever. I know we aren't like that at all. But Denver is a well-coached team. You clearly saw it against the Giants because they didn't give up whatsoever. When the Giants started making mistakes, this is what happens with Sean Payton coached teams. They just find ways to win, even though that in terms of the talent levels compared to where he was at in New Orleans, I wouldn't say it's that talented of a team, but they're in the right direction. They blew the whole thing up. Now he's getting the vision that he wanted. And I think that what's really going to, for me, this is going to be the crucial game of the season that's going to make everything. Like, this is either going to propel this team to something where, okay, you can be buyers at the trade deadline, where you can maybe make a run because you have an offense that's doing fantastic, or maybe you need to start selling some pieces because this just ain't it. So
Right.
I do have them losing tomorrow and going 2-2 in the stretch of October, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. So.
No, I hope I'm wrong too. But I can't believe in this team, like Cowboys block said. That's why I got us losing, because I have no faith in this defense. I mean, sure, they went from 32nd to 30th because we played a no wide receiver team like the Commanders. But see, I got hyped against the Jets. Oh, was that the get right game? No, it was not the get right game. We took a dump in Carolina the following week.
Yep.
So it's like, how does this team, after they do a locker room celebration, handle the next week, Mike? How do they do that?
Yeah. It's like I have us losing too, to be completely honest. And I just in this offense is bound to have a bad game at some points. And I just worry that bad game is going to be tomorrow. You know, Dak Prescott's also bound to have a bad game. It happens to every quarterback. Every quarterback is going to have a bad game, but that's kind of where I'm at there.
Yeah. No, I just historically, Dak Prescott against the Denver Broncos, and I'm not trying to beat my team up by any means. I just can't tell you that the pot of gold is nice. Yeah. Because the pot of gold is going to be those fake little those little St. Patrick's Day coins from the Dollar Tree. All right. That's what you get from the Dallas Cowboys. And until they really beat somebody, look at the people that we beat. We haven't beat anybody. And so it's like, if we can go into Denver and we can beat a 5-2 team
on the road, I will be like, it doesn't matter how we win. We can win a last-second field goal. We can win on a safety. It doesn't matter. I will be pumped up because we beat an actual winning team.
Agreed.
But see, the problem that I have, though, is that Space Cowboys said they're a well-coached team. Sean Payton versus Brian Schottenheimer. How does he stack up? And when you look at the coaches that he's played who have some skins on the wall, he hasn't looked very good. He's panicked at some stuff. His offense kind of got stale. You know, it is what it is. But let's go touch back on the Trayvon Diggs situation real quick, guys. Anybody got anything to add to that?
It's like I said earlier, this offense is just bound to have a bad game. And this is the type of game the Cowboys usually lose in. And fifth quarter Cowboys, I was on his live stream earlier. He actually has us winning this game. And I'm like, I was kind of surprised about that because I hope we win, but I just don't see it. You know, this is the type of game that the Cowboys usually lose in. And And I get Dak has played great. There's no denying that. But he hasn't played, but we still haven't played in a tough environment like the Broncos. So I kind of have some concerns, and the defense is, of course, a huge concern. And I think the coaching has been very inconsistent this year, too.
Yeah, for sure. So let's touch back on Trayvon Diggs real quick. A Trayvon Diggs release this offseason saves $54 million in cap space from 26 to 28. So 2 years. So you're looking at about a little over $25 million per year in cap space if he's not traded. Look for him to be a post-June 1 cut. Cowboys blog, and that's from Clarence Hill Jr. Shout out to him. Cowboys blog. What happened to Trayvon and the Cowboys?
To me, it all started back when he decided to train on his own, and then they fined him the $500K or whatever. And I think it just went south. The relationship went south. Then Micah, I think he wanted to leave with Micah as well. So, and I don't buy the concussion, bro. I think it's made up. I think he's just finding a way. Like I'm done. I think he's done. The front office is done. So I said, somebody hit me on the head with a hammer or whatever you got to do, and then I'm gonna have a concussion. So I don't know, dude. I personally don't buy the concussion thing. I think it was made up, and if not, it was self-inflicted. How do you get concussed at home, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
so
So
me, dude.
So just so everyone's clear in the comment section, Trayvon Diggs is in IR not because of a concussion, but because he brought in his knees back into the injury mode. So that's why they put him on IR, was because of his knee got tweaked. So not only do you have the concussion, but you got the knee now.
And I don't know if I even believe that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think this is just a convenient excuse to be like, oh, Trayvon, you're going IR. You're going to be stashed away here for 4 games or whatever. Once we get to the 4 weeks, maybe they just leave them there. You know what I mean? They don't have to bring them back. So
they don't have to open that window.
I think we've seen the last of him, bro. I think that's it. I think we have seen the last of Trayvon in a uniform Cowboys.
Yeah.
Space. What happened with Trayvon Diggs and the Cowboys?
I just think that this just came to a head mainly because of the fact that, number one, when he tore his ACL, the way that he was trying to come back, obviously, considering the fact that that 23 season, you had Stephon Gilmore step up for him, but then he comes back trying to do something in a lost year, which was 2024, but you clearly see he's lost a step. He's not the same player that he once was. But the other thing that I know that the Cowboys love to do is that when they find someone else that can play the position and isn't, you could argue, problematic, or is playing at a higher level, which DaRon Bland is, they're not going to pay 2 corners that much money. They're just not. They just have not a history of doing that. Defensive line, yes, we could see that, but not corners. I've said it on my channel. I've said it on Twitter, however you wish to call it, X. Once they paid DaRon Bland, the clock started ticking on Trayvon Diggs, without a doubt in my mind. Now, as for this concussion thing, the thing that I don't buy is the key thing in all of this is Jerry and Steven will typically say something about this situation. They don't keep their mouths shut. The fact that they didn't comment on it says a lot about this situation. So from what I understand, it's just a matter of when. Now, he can be traded even though he's on IR. However, they would need to put him in a 21-day practice return window first, and then the other team would have to give him a physical that he would have to pass. But I don't think they're going to be able to trade for him, because if you really think about it, why would any team trade for a guy that's going to – we could just wait until he gets designated as a post-June 1st cut. So I also think the other thing that set this off was Dan Quinn's gone. You brought in Mike Zimmer, obviously that lost season, but then you brought in Matt Eberflus, who clearly just doesn't – him and Diggs just aren't gelling. And I'm not trying to sit here and say that Matt Eberflus is great at his job whatsoever, but it's very evident that he's just not a good fit for the – I know the word culture is all this ended, but you can clearly see he's just not a good fit here anymore. And I hate to say that. I love what he's done, the interceptions and everything, but I'm sorry, bro. And honestly, I think they're going to take that money and throw it towards Pickens. That's just how I'm looking at it. So
which I hope
That's
so.
that's a good point. But before I go to you, Mike, real quick. The trade deadline is November 3rd. So if he's out at least for 4 weeks before you can open a trade window, he's not tradable.
That's what I'm trying to get. Just because
Yeah.
some people were saying like you can't trade him because he's on IR. I was just trying to educate that. Yeah, you could trade a player that's on IR, but my main thing is that he's not going to be traded at the trade deadline.
Right. You can't. Because it's going to be it's too far in.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. What happened with Trayvon Diggs and the Cowboys?
It's going back to last year. The thing I remember the most is Trayvon Diggs going off on that reporter after losing to the 49ers game. And I kind of saw his true colors when he did that. And, he's become a diva. This whole Micah thing, is just, it completely messed it. It completely messed him up. Him being fined $500K. And I've stuck up for Trayvon over the years, but this is just inexcusable. He's done. He's cooked. I think the relationship between him and Jerry has completely ruptured. You can't. There's no going back. He's completely injury prone, and I think he's following his brother's footsteps. And it's like Block said, and I was talking to my mom about this today. Actually, I think this concussion thing is a facade too. I really do. There's something going on behind the scenes that we do not know about. Either he concussed himself on purpose or he doesn't have a concussion at all. Even the knee thing is kind of hard to believe too. Like how do you get a concussion at home? It's kind of where I'm coming from there. So there's clearly something going on there. He's either following his brother's footsteps or something like that, or I just think that this relationship is completely ruptured. I think that we just saw the last of Trayvon Diggs in the Cowboys uniform, and once the offseason comes, he's going to be gone from the team, and hopefully we will sign George Pickens.
Yeah, you can't franchise tag him and then sign him and use that June 1st money to sign him in training camp.
Yep.
Cool Cowboys on the corner of crazy Cowboys. But before I go to Cool Cowboy here, what if, all right, they try to shop Trayvon, all right? Because concussion doesn't last this long, does it? I mean, it could, depending on how the severity of it, right? Maybe they try to shop Trayvon, but no one wanted him. And so they're like, shit, let's suspend him. But how's that going to look? Okay. Let's IR him for that knee. Let's just make something up.
Mm-hmm.
Like what it I really feel like, and maybe James Slater will have the goodies here in the coming weeks, but I think that's what happened before this knee IR stuff happened, is they try to shop him. And maybe the Cowboys wanted too much. Maybe the Cowboys outplayed themselves again. But Cool Cowboy, how you been?
What's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
Good. What happened between Trayvon Diggs and the Dallas Cowboys, Cool Cowboy?
Yeah, man, that relationship's over. Man, like, I there's no way he's gonna be on the team next year, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to trade him this year because the way he's been playing, it's been pretty bad. I don't know if anyone wants to take that cap hit, and also I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think we'll get a negative cap hit if we trade him this year. But I could see us just this IR stash, they probably want to use them as trade bait, but like you said, they just IR stash them so that way they can maybe fleece somebody for a trade. But the way he's playing, I wouldn't trade for him. I mean, honestly, those backup corners did better than he did. He is just, ever since Micah Parsons got traded, he's just been checked out of his team, man. He's not a team player. He's just like his older brother. He's just about himself. And so the relationship is at an all-time low.
Yeah. No. All right, guys. We're going to look at this here real quick, right here by the Dallas Cowboy PR. All right. The Dallas Cowboys have placed Trayvon Diggs on injured reserve on Saturday. The club also elevated Corey Ballantyne and running back Malik Davis. But my concern here is if you look at the injury report, it doesn't look good for Y.A. Thomas. A migraine. Did not participate. He's questionable. But I think they already ruled him out over a stupid migraine. All right. You got Malik Hooker out. And I think Dono Wilson, he's already out too. So your safeties back there, what the heck are we going to do here, Blog?
Yeah. No, your safeties, they're going to have to probably shuffle some people around, dude, and play a different scheme. You know what I mean? Where, I don't know, dude. Like, if they go back to the zone crap, they're going to be cooked. Bo Nix will dissect the crap out of that zone crap if Eberflus rolls that out, dude. It'll be a blowout of massive proportions. So we'll see what Eberflus has in place here. But yeah, it doesn't look good, dude. Secondary is all beat up, dude. Real beat up.
Yeah, it's not good. Space, secondary. What the heck are we going to do?
Pray. I mean, I don't know what else you could do. I mean, the problem really is that it's not the secondary that's for me. I think it's really the offensive side of the ball because, I mean, we kind of saw in that Giants game, the one thing that they were able to do until that fourth quarter was hold that Broncos offense in check, sure, but they were able to put up some points and move the ball. I think that if they're going to win this game, that is where I think you're going to need to win because I'm just looking at who you have on the secondary and you just maybe they surprised me. I don't know, but Malik Hooker, he hasn't looked good at all. I mean, you could move some of your younger cats down into playing safety. I really don't know, Mike. Honestly, I don't know what you do. I think you're going to need to ask your defensive line to step up. Like
somebody mute up when you're not talking. Mute up. All right, we can't be having all this background noise. Okay. Cool Cowboy. What the heck are we gonna do with our safeties?
Yeah, just like Space Cowboy said, we gotta pray, man. I mean, it's gonna be what's his name, Marquise Bell, and probably Israel Mukuamu, which is not something I have high confidence in. And you got Bland, obviously. I don't know, is Revel? No, he's not back. Yeah,
No, Revel's not back.
Yeah, this is gonna be really rough, honestly. Like the D line has to get pressure, has to. If Bo Nix is just gonna stand there in the pocket clean, he excels, man, at the mid-range passing game. He's not a good deep ball quarterback, but at the mid-range passing game, he will pick our safeties apart. So if you don't get pressure, this game is gonna be a disaster, man. Because, like I said, man, these safeties they're no good. These backup safeties, and I don't think we should have any trust in them.
Right. No, none at all.
Agreed.
Mike, the safeties, man, we're hurt back there. What are we gonna do?
There's nothing we can do, I don't trust Jerry to sign for shit, and unfortunately, all we can really do is like what Space Cowboy said, hope and pray. Hope and pray that we do something. Unfortunately, Israel Mukuamu is not on the team anymore, so I don't really know who our other safety is going to be outside of Marquise Bell. So there's a lot to be concerned about with this defense. I mean, this D-line is really going to have to step up, too. But do you guys really trust someone like Osa to step up? Osa's trash, dude. He's trash. I saw his outfit today on Twitter. He's putting in more effort into choosing what outfit he wants to wear opposed to his play on the field. I don't trust this defense, dude, and for that reason, I think we're gonna lose tomorrow, and all we can do is hope and pray. But if this offense even has one screw up by going 3 and out, we're done.
Yeah. So the guy that's gonna replace the injured safeties, all right, the rookie Elijah Clark, number 38. He played last week. He had 4 solo tackles. He didn't do half bad. And then, you got Marquise Bell in there who's kind of hit and miss, right? But one thing I'm so scared of, guys, we know what Deron Bland is. But gosh darn it, guess who's coming back this week? Kalen Carson.
Oh, no.
Oh, shoot.
We're screwed.
Who would you rather have, Cowboys block, starting? Kier Elam or Kalen Carson?
Oh man, can there be another choice? It would be my question because Kellen Carson's going to have too much rust. He's missed way too much time. Kyrie Elam, they're probably going to go with him just on what they traded for him and experience, but he's not any good. You know what I mean? So they're in trouble there as well. Like I said, the secondary, it's bad, dude. They got to revamp this in the offseason. We're just going to have to go with what we have right now. There's not much you can really do, man, because anybody who's sitting on the couch right now, I mean, there's a reason they're on the couch. They're not that good.
Give me Stephon Gilmore.
I don't even think Gilmore would move the needle, dude. I really don't. Like, nobody else has picked him up, so it's a name, obviously, but would he fit in this Eberflus trash can of a defense? I don't know, dude. You don't know.
No, you don't. You don't block. Space. Kalen Carson. Kier Elam. Who you starting?
It's probably me. You could throw me out there. I'll probably do better. My 5'4" ass will probably do better in coverage. Now, here's the thing. All jokes aside, the thing is, you know what you have in Kyrie Elam because he's been in the NFL for quite some time. As much as I would want to throw Carson out there just to see what he can be, the one thing you don't want to do with a corner, you can say it's the same thing with the kicker, is you don't want to throw a dude out there and lose his confidence. If you rush him out there and he is burned, that's it. Like, good luck trying to get him back into the groove of things. I think you got to go with Kyrie because he's your best option, which isn't saying much. But I just think with Kalen, like, I don't think, and when I say, like, I see some things that I can work with. That doesn't mean I'm asking him to be like a starting caliber corner. I think that at his ceiling, he's probably one of your depth key corner guys, but that's what I always looked at when he came over here. But the problem is when you're a guy that's hurt coming back. And again, we just talked about Trevon Diggs coming back from an injury and looking like crap because they rushed him back. You can't be doing that. So I would say those two, if I had a gun to my head and I had to go with Kyrie Elam because you know what you got in him, which isn't much, but it's better than rushing a guy back and screwing up another draft pick, which you probably already did. But so
yeah, cool Cowboy. Which one would you go with, Kier Elam or Kalen Carson?
Yeah, definitely Elam, man. Listen, they're above garbage. Don't get me wrong, but Carson, man. You like I don't know who said it, but he's gonna be rusty. This is not a game to put him back in. If we were playing like a team like the Raiders, then maybe see what you got, put him in there. But against this Broncos passing attack, don't put him out there. He's just gonna get picked apart, lose confidence. And Elam, even though he's been really bad, last game he wasn't terrible, I will say. So honestly, I would just stick with Elam.
Agreed.
What do you think, Mike? Oh, you agree to that? All right. We'll break it down. Why do you agree?
No, is neither an option? I'm just kidding. No, but I would say Elam. I don't trust Kalen Carson, whatever his name is, Kalen Caleb. I don't know where Karen, but I'd say Elam. Even though Kyrie Elam sucks too, we've already seen what Kyrie Elam can do, but Kalen Carson, we've barely seen him. Or we haven't really seen him at all, what he can do. And when we have seen Kalen Carson, he gets burned. I think you got to start Elam over Carson.
Yes. I think you got to go with Elam too. All right. But guess what, guys? I fooled you here. Okay. I'm going to give you a name. And he played last week. He had 7 solo tackles. He's a big boy all the way from Florida. Bridges. All right.
I was going to say.
Bridges, to me, after watching that game last week against the Commanders, sure, they didn't have no wide receivers on there. But like Space said, you don't want to throw those guys out there and just lose confidence. I think that game against the Commanders for Bridges, with them having, their third string wide receivers out there, I think Bridges played nice. I think Bridges was supposed to be is what Nahshon Wright was supposed to be for the Dallas Cowboys. tall, lengthy, but I think he's bigger than Nashawn. I'm 6'2", 200 pounds. If you guys, who Space Cowboy shaking his head, yes. Who else paid attention to Bridges last week?
I was very surprised. I saw the name Bridges come on my screen. I was like, who the hell is that? I was like,
we picked him up off waivers.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, he's a tall dude. I was like, what the? But to your point, I agree. Like, he does remind me of what Nashawn Wright should be or should have been for the Cowboys. And I think that when you have a game, yes, like you said, even though it could be, it's against us, it doesn't matter. I mean, whoever you're playing against, confidence is key. It could be against garbage cans for all you care about, but if you feel good, you're going to play good. And I feel like that is what I would want to see moving forward. So,
yes. What? Anybody else pay attention to Bridges out there?
I saw a little bit of it, but I didn't really see. I didn't really see much of him. But when I did see him, I thought he did play fairly well. So I think he should start over Carson and Elam, to be completely honest. So that's where I'm at there.
From what I
Okay.
saw from him, I mean, he didn't get picked apart like crazy, so that's a good sign. So that's all I got to say on him.
No, that is true. Is Cooper Beebe coming back this week? He's questionable. Let me ask you guys this. All right, Cooper Beebe's questionable. Who would you rather have, the hot hand in Hoffman, or do you value Cooper Beebe better than Brock Hoffman and you put Beebe back in there, Blog? How do you evaluate that as a coach? Like, I would go with the hot hand. What would you do?
Yeah, I'm putting BB back in there, man. If he's ready, he needs to get in there. You know, relatively high pick. He can't be sitting down there in the bench. You know what I mean? And if you're afraid that he'll get re-hurt, then they messed that up too, dude. So that's my only thing about BB, man. He's missing some time, dude, and that's starting to get a little annoying to me. Same with Guyton. You know, these guys they need to play. So for me, relatively high pick. I want BB in there and let Hoffman be that reliable backup for you.
What about you, Space?
I'm the same way with Blog. I think you got to throw Cooper back in there. The mainstay of it is that I think that BB has higher potential. Like the ceiling for BB is a lot higher than Hoffman. No disrespect to Hoffman. I've seen enough of him to understand that he's a backup player in this league, maybe an average starter like we've seen. But I think for like talking about the whole offensive line, like he brought up Guyton. I mentioned it way earlier in the season that you need continuity with these young dudes. Right. And I think that the only way you're going to get that is by playing Cooper Beebe. Now, we saw in the limited time that he was with us, he was struggling, having that sophomore slump. But I think that's what I need to see. I need to see that whole young offensive line together because if you think about it, you know, Hoffman's, I know he was I think he's a restricted free. I got to double check, but
1 year deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So my main thing is you're going to have BB for under team control for another 2 seasons. You got to play him. You got him.
Agreed.
Go ahead, cool Cowboy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, honestly, BB, like they were both playing pretty similar, but I think BB's just slightly better as of right now. And like Space said, he has higher upside. So you gotta play him if he's healthy, man, for sure. Because of the higher upside and the fact that just based off what we've seen, he has been better than Hoffman. Not by much, but definitely enough to where you justify putting him in the game.
Agreed.
Well, why do you agree, Mike?
So is Cooper Beebe coming back this week, or is he coming back?
He was limited in practice. He's questionable. He can't come back.
That's tough. That's actually really tough. And our other center is Brock Hoffman, right?
Yes.
I do think BB is healthy. I do think BB is not healthy. I do think he is better, but I think you got to roll with Brock Hoffman for another week because we don't know if Cooper BB could potentially be re-injured. So I think you got to play it safe with this one. Just play Brock Hoffman this week. I think Brock Hoffman has actually done reasonably okay. So that's kind of where I'm at there.
I agree, Mike. I don't have short-term memory, not saying you guys do, but when BB was in there, he wasn't looking too sharp. He wasn't looking too sharp at all. He was getting beat up the middle a lot. And I feel like Brock Hoffman, to me, has been playing better so far from the games that I've seen from BB and the games that I've seen from Brock Hoffman. I like Brock Hoffman a little bit better. A little bit. Not by much, not by a mile, but a little bit better. Javonte Williams running up the middle, right there, right with Brock Hoffman, I think has been really good. Really good. But right here, Leo the Greek wants to know, how do you value a 2-game rookie? So what do you mean by that? Like how do you value him? I don't know. Do you guys understand it?
Are you saying like how do you like evaluate a rookie? I mean, you kind of just watch and you go with what you see. I mean, I don't know what else this like. It would be malpractice. Like if you're talking about what's his name? Bridges. I mean, what are you gonna do? like I mean, you like any film, you just look in what you see and you say, hey, you see a productive player there. But
Right.
I mean, yeah. And I did also see Todd Archer did confirm BB will not be reactivated for this game against the Broncos.
I like that. I like that a lot. Let's see. Dude barely played in the NFL. What dude, Leo? What dude? What dude? I want to answer your question. But for me, if I'm gonna, how do I evaluate a 2-game rookie? Okay, what was his mistakes the first game? Did he clean it up and play a little better the second game? That's how I would evaluate a rookie. I mean, Block. You're a scouting guy. How would you evaluate a rookie playing in 2 games? Oh, you're on mute, I think, brother.
Typically, your rookies don't have high snap counts, right? So you look at a player like Jadon Blue. You know, his stats don't really give a lot of confidence right now. But he's a rookie, and Javonte Williams, he is the man right now. So that's what I look at. You gotta consider that. You know what I mean? So, what is their position on the depth chart? Are they a rotational guy? Are they thrown into the fire like a Tyler Booker? All right. So you look at like a Tyler Booker. He looked good, but he's missed a lot of damn time, dude. Like, hey man, come on, dude, get out there. You know what I mean? I don't want to see this team like just have guys in and out the lineup, dude. They need to toughen up, dude.
Agree.
Yeah.
They need to toughen up. Man.
Yeah. So the show's almost over here, almost approaching an hour and 13 minutes. It's a couple more topics, maybe one. It depends on how long we go on this topic. Javonte Williams going back home to Denver. The interior line of the Broncos is really good. It's almost better than the Panthers. All right. And we've seen the Panthers were able to stop Javonte Williams. So how does Javonte Williams take the Panthers game and learn from it against his former team? And I'm gonna start with Cool Cowboy here. What type of production do you see Javonte Williams having against this Broncos defense?
Not to be that guy, but honestly, because of their defensive line being so stout, especially in the middle, I see it being more similar to the Carolina Panthers game, if I'm going to be honest with you, unfortunately. I mean, I know he's going to want to go out there and prove himself against his former team, kind of like Rico did against us. But at the end of the day, the Broncos defense is like I think the second best defense in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken. And I just don't see him being able to bust through those holes. I think if on offense, if you're going to want to win this game, it's going to be through the air. Because the one thing about the Broncos is even though they have a good defense, you need to attack the middle of the field. Their linebacker play is good, but it's probably the weakness, if they even have a weakness on the team. You got to attack the medium range passing game because obviously they have Surtain, Hufanga. So if you try to go the deep ball, it ain't going to work out. And they have I think Nick Bonito and I forgot the other players they have, but their defensive line is really stout. So unfortunately, I think it's going to be like the Panthers game where he gets stuffed.
Yeah, and just to remind everybody, 13 attempts, 29 yards, 2.2 yards a carry. Mike, how does Javonte Williams, does he learn from that Panthers game with the stats I just mentioned against this stout defense that Cook Cowboy just mentioned?
Even though the Broncos do have a great defense, I actually think he does. I have a good feeling that Javonte Williams is going to have a good game. You know, he's going against his former team, and he really has something to prove this game. And Javonte Williams, and I said this on Fifth Quarter Cowboys' live stream earlier, Javonte Williams is going to be the player who I'm going to be paying the most attention to. How is he going to do? That's kind of my main question. He'll either have a good game or it'll be the same as the Panthers. But I actually have a good feeling about Javonte Williams, despite the fact that the Broncos have one of the best defenses in the NFL. And it's like I said, you know, Dak's bound to have a bad game at some point, and he's played great, but I feel like this is going to be the game where he kind of falls off a little bit, and so so you kind of have to rely on the running game, and I think Javonte Williams, I think he's going to have a good game. I think he's going to have my prediction is he's going to have like 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. I know that's kind of me overstating it, but I just have a good feeling about Javonte Williams tomorrow.
All right. What about you, Space? How does Javonte Williams do against this defense? 29 yards against a good defense interior like the Panthers. Broncos probably have a better one. How does he handle it?
I think that you should have a better go around this time instead of the Panthers game, mainly because of the fact that when you compare the two, the Panthers game, I don't think Booker was back for that game. Of course, you still had Hoffman in the middle. Like you were still kind of getting guys back. But I think for Williams, I think he'll have a better game. Now the Broncos only had 2 guys rush for over 100 yards on them. So that was, I believe, it was J.K. Dobbins in that Bengals game, and then Jonathan Taylor in the game they should have won against the Colts, but they didn't. So I think for Williams, I don't have any issues with how he's going to run the ball. What I'm more concerned, and this is why you lost that Panthers game and you weren't able to run the ball, because your offensive line was getting worked. That's going to make or break this game for you. I think that with you adding back Tyler Booker, right? I know with Tyler Guyton, we want to see him grow. I've liked what I've seen on that side for what I've expected of him, which wasn't much. And then, of course, you have Tyler Smith in there. I think you should have a better day of running the football. But at the same time, you know, it comes down to that interior has been just impeccable for the Broncos. They have not, like, I just looked at the last game against the Giants. Cam Scatterbo only ran for like 60 plus yards. They were averaging like 3-point-something yards per carry. I think it's just that's going to be the key thing for me is physicality, right? Brian Schottenheimer loves to talk about physicality. This is going to be a game where, like, okay, we saw one game where you went up against a really good defensive line and you didn't really do so well. Now you're going to need to step up. And so that's where I think that's going to be the game that this game, win or lose, I need to see you effectively run the football.
Yeah. Yeah. Blog, what do you think?
Yeah. I love everything that Space said there, man, because it's true. It's going to come down to physicality, and Denver gets the check mark there, man. They're going to I think they're going to bully our offensive line, man. They got DJ Jones there. I remember him during draft season. He's a big, stout nose tackle. These guys run a 3-4, so they're going to be getting after the quarterback. They've got speed. They've got playmakers all over the board. You know, Zach Allen at end. They got Jonathan Cooper, linebacker, Nick Bonito, Surtain, who did a really good job of playing against CeeDee Lamb in the collegiate years. You know what I mean? So that's going to be a good matchup. And then there's safety Hufanga, solid safety. So they're good, man, in all phases of their defense. So the Cowboys are gonna have to really scratch and claw in this game offensively. I don't think it's gonna be a cakewalk, man. I think it's gonna have to be an unsung hero. Maybe Ferguson's gonna have to carry the load Pickens is probably going to have to step up again here and probably, get some big yards for us, because I think Lamb and Surtain is going to be the heavyweight matchup we all want to see, and who's going to win it, man? I think could be the game.
Yeah, they got two solid corners over there too. So you would need Jake Ferguson to really step up here. No, guys, let's go into final thoughts. Or if anybody has a final topic, you're the host of that final topic, so you get to go around the panel and ask them. So, Cool Cowboy, final thoughts, or you got a final topic?
I'll just do final thoughts. I mean, honestly, like I've been negative the show, but I'm really hoping they win, man. Like this is the must-win game because this is a playoff team that we're facing off, and probably one of the best teams we face all year. Because we're being honest with ourselves, Eagles aren't the same. Packers, they are a pretty good team, but we tied them. So this is the test. I just want to see how we do against them. If we end up losing, I just hope we don't get blown out badly. Because if we get blown out, then we can know, okay, that's it. Season's over. We're just gonna run up the score against a bunch of trash opponents, and that's about it. But they have to make this game competitive. They have to run the football effectively and attack the intermediate range of passing game on offense. And on defense, don't let Bo Nix pick you apart. Matt Eberflus, you better not use zone defense, man. You better not.
Yeah.
If you use Tampa 2 zone defense, you can forget about it. Even if the Cowboys have a perfect day on offense, because you just know they're just going to keep on scoring on this trash defense over and over again. So please don't use zone defense, and let's see a 70-yard field goal from Aubrey at the half. Why not?
Absolutely.
What do you think, Mike? Final topics, final thoughts. Thank you, Cool Cowboy.
I was thinking about a final topic, but I'll get into my final thoughts first. I just hope we win. There's no other way to say it. I hope this offense continues to play the way they have this whole year. And I still don't have faith in this defense, but this is the first time this year that we're truly playing in a tough environment. I mean, Denver's a very, very tough place to play, and it's gonna be a true test to see what this team really is. We cannot lose the next two or go 1-1. If this team wants to show us that this team is a playoff team, then we have to win the next two games. We have to win this game, and we have to win next week against the Cardinals as well. So that's kind of where I'm at. But my final topic is: do you guys think that this could be? Actually, I don't have a final topic. But yeah, that's
There you go. Space Cowboy. Thank you, Mike. Space Cowboy. Final topic, final thoughts.
Final
Which
thoughts.
one you got?
Final thoughts. Look, this is a must-win game. I know we say that every freaking week because every game is a must-win game. But this is extremely important because this is where you get into the meat and potatoes of your schedule. I hate how they lined up the schedule because the Cowboys struggle against Denver and they struggle against Arizona, especially if Kyler Murray's coming back, and in AT&T Stadium, nonetheless. So the way I look at it is you're going up against Sean Payton and a well-coached Broncos team. He's done a great job building that program over there. And I think for Brian Schottenheimer for those that don't know, Brian Schottenheimer was actually born in Denver. I believe he was born in Denver. So this is going to be interesting to see what he does over there, coming back there, hometown. But the main thing for me is win or lose, I need to see heart from the team on both sides of the ball. I'm not trying to sound like a loser. I'm not trying to sound like, oh, this is because I already went into this year knowing what kind of team we are, which is a team that will squeak into the playoffs, maybe, if not, oh well. But I know Blog has said this several times in his videos about how the Cowboys make panic trades, especially when they lose, and it looks like the season's kind of like in the balance. The only way that I'm willing to buy in to trade any assets is if you go out and you take care of business versus the Broncos and say, you know what? We took care of business against a playoff team, and I think that we're just reaching that apex of the season, right? Now, if you lose... if you lose, depending on how you lose, I think you need to really reconsider what you're going to do. But this is going to say a lot about Brian Schottenheimer. we haven't gotten on a win streak so far this year at all. So I need to see, can we put together multiple wins in multiple weeks? Can we please see that? That's what I'm hoping for tomorrow. So
Right. No, multiple wins. It hasn't happened. Blog. Final. You got a final topic, or you got a final thought?
Yeah, final thoughts, man. A lot of what Space said, spot on. A lot of what everybody's saying has been spot on about the team, man. So great show tonight. Shout out to you guys on the panel. But yeah, my deal is, the defense. It's still on the spotlight for me, man. Like we're still experimenting too much for being week. What are we? Week 8 now?
Week 8, yeah.
And they're still experimenting. Like, oh, we're gonna do this. We're gonna bench this guy. We're gonna do 47.5 more percent man coverage. And this and that. So I'm ready for. I think this game might be where it propels us to go on a big winning streak and give us some momentum, or we're gonna look at this and be like, Eberflus has to go. This defense could possibly. I mean, they might have to just be like, this guy's just he ain't gonna be it, man. You know what I mean? You look at what like Space said. Sean Payton has built a really good staff there, a good team. He's got the 3-4 there. Vance Johnson used to be the head coach of the Broncos a few seasons ago, and now he's your defensive coordinator. Do the Cowboys do this with Wade Phillips and bring back the 3-4 and unlock the potential of Donovan Ezaraku as an outside linebacker?
I like it. That's talking crazy right there. I love it.
It is. We'll see what happens, man.
Look, for me, guys, I have us losing this game. Not because I don't like my team. I love my Cowboys, and it hurts my heart to say it. 35-20, and for all the right reasons. Dak Prescott against the AFC West, even with a Dan Quinn defense, went 1-3, and now you fast forward here with the 30th ranked defense. 2 years ago we had a rain delay and we got our butts whipped. I mean, just straight slaughtered. I mean, I don't think we scored a point on the Broncos, did we? 4 years ago? What was the score 4 years ago?
16-30. But it was 30-0 until 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Insane stuff, man. Like, that stuff is just – and now you got Bo Nix and a Sean Payton team. Like,
in elite
against
defense.
This defense, look, Schottenheimer, I feel like, will be outcoached this game. I think Sean Payton's going to bring it all with Bo Nix there in Mile High. Fatigue, thin air, that really is a thing. If we pull out the win, I'm still not trading for anybody. I don't want to trade for anybody until if we beat the Broncos, and we have to beat the Cardinals. If we can beat two teams before the trade deadline, I'm sold. Go get somebody in here. Let's try to make it right at this. Sitting 5-3-1, I think, is a lot better than possibly going 4-4-1 and then try to make a trade, or going 3-5-1. Don't make that trade. Save your draft picks. Build on next year. The season's done. I don't care how good Dak Prescott looks. But going back to this game right here, I just don't have any faith that we could be disciplined enough, that we could execute enough. Because your guy Nick said it right here. Those stats, you are who you are, and those stats right there are who we are on the road. That right there it's concerning. But guys, thank you for coming on. Big shout out to Cowboys Block, Space Cowboys Show, Mike, and Cool Cowboy. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for your interactions tonight. Cowboy Nation, thank you for coming on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys. Talking crazy. Are you in the Cowboys corner? Peace.
Peace out, guys.